Here we are with Jimmie Fails in San Francisco, his hometown. What's it like to finally have this here in your city?
It's beautiful. I mean, this is all I ever dreamed of. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm taking it all in right now. You know what I mean? Trying not to cry right now.
I mean, this is my it's my hometown. You know, I've lived in so many places in this city. You know, well, particularly in the Fillmore. And Haight-Ashbury is where I grew up, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, in fact, I got some friends of mine who come to see the night's performance who went to high school with me, you know, so they know I can't be faking. We went to high school together at George Washington High School, you know. So.
It's surreal, man. It's fucking trippy. I used to come to movies here when I was a kid. And so, you know, you dream of having a movie here one day, but you know, those feel like dreams for most of your life.
Oh man, it's like a phenomenon. It feels like the whole city's been in labor to birth something, and we finally got it. We finally got it here now.
What's it like to be a part of their film here in their hometown?
Oh man, me coming from Brooklyn, New York, to see all of this love and enthusiasm from San Francisco natives and accept me as a part of the storytelling to this beautiful poetic film. It's amazing. I'm just totally floored. I'm blessed to be here.
It's amazing. Being a native New Yorker, I'm learning how to say hella good, and I'm going in the core. But to be a part of this project, this piece of work, I call this film a piece of art because it tells a story that needs to be told. And it's beyond just about gentrification. This is about a black man's journey to from being a San Franciscan to seeing the very place that he rests his head, the very comfort that he has, which is always home. To see that taken away from him. I always say we're all one paycheck away from homelessness, but there are so many dynamics to this film that relate to the black man that I think needs to be told, and I think that Joe and Jimmie have done an amazing job at telling that story, and thank God for Plan B and A24 for allowing them to tell the story.
I think it's a beautiful story. It's one of the most human stories I've been a part of. It's one of the most complex stories I've been a part of, and I think it's going to enlighten a lot of people to what it is to be at home, to have a home, what wealth really is, what it means to be at home in oneself. It's a beautiful story.
It's an original story. Is it more challenging, or is it easier to be a part of something that people really don't know about?
I would imagine for Joe and for Jimmie, it might have started out as being more challenging to get a story like this off the ground, but it did find a level of support certainly from A24 and Plan B, and so if you have a unique vision and a true from the heart story to tell, which is these guys' life experiences, then people pay attention to that and they're willing to give you a shot. So I'm glad that Joe got that shot with this.
I mean, every story is different. I mean, an original story is great because you kind of get to originate the role. You kind of get to step into the character. You kind of get to play around. There's different structures to play with. You get to break structures, build structures. So it's free. So it's a lot more free.
Can you describe how this is going to connect to everybody?
Of course. Gentrification is just not in San Francisco. People losing their homes, their very place that, you're supposed to find comfort and solace in. This happens every minute. Somebody right now is being displaced from their home. Their home is no longer what it used to be. So we want to make sure that we put it out there that there's a story, there's dynamics of black men. There's a soft side. Come on, you got a soft side. There's that fearful side. You're a man, but you're a human, and it puts a face on these. The media unfortunately portrays a lot of black men in America as faceless and nameless. that these are people.
This is not going to simply be a San Francisco movie. This movie, where we see gentrification is happening in major cities, the removal of African Americans from those major cities. I don't care if it's Cincinnati to Cleveland. I don't care if it's from Harlem itself, whatever. All those are things, are real dynamics that are happening. And we're going to have to find some sort of way in which we kind of leverage the conversation. What do we mean by community? What do we mean by diversity? You know, and see, those young kids who didn't have the opportunities that their grandparents had or my parents had. You know, my mother's father bought a house and built a community and life in that house when I was 11 years old. So I lived 12 blocks from where I grew up.
Man, I think it's a testament. You know, the original man was the black man. You know, and we all come from the black man, from some way, somehow, generations through. We're all in there. Everybody in their DNA has black people in them, regardless if you want to admit it or not. And I believe what you just asked is a testament to that, how it resonates with everybody, because everybody can connect with the experience and the struggle of what it is like to be a black man in San Francisco. You see what I'm saying? And the title is just interesting in itself. So, but yeah, I believe that's what it is, man. I think it's all bringing us all back to our true root of human being and understanding the human condition and wanting to root and cheer for a human being, period, regardless of the color.
I've been coming up to San Francisco ever since I was a little kid. I grew up in Los Angeles, and this is actually my favorite city in all of California. But yeah, I mean, over the years, noticing the differences, neighborhoods changing. I think this film really speaks to a generation coming up now that maybe was looking forward to a heritage or a community, and then growing up and moving out of the real world only to see that that's not exactly there for them in the same way. And maybe it wasn't worth the nostalgia that they had given it to begin with. So it's interesting, but at the end of the day, I also view this film as really a comment about friendship and what true friendship really means. And also it's a love poem to a city that I love.
This is their city. They were happy. Where's your getaway place? What's the place for you?
My getaway place is the chessboard, baby.
There you go.
It actually is the Bay Area. But I also go down to San Diego sometimes, but I'd rather come north anytime. So yeah, I love to do 3-day trips here, but I also love working in the city. I just wish they shot more films here.
My getaway place would be probably Waco, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. That's where my grandparents stay.
Is it a major difference in pressure here? Because you already did the premiere at Sundance, and now you're in your hometown. Can you describe the film? Because you got friends and family here, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a lot different because, you know, it's everybody you know around here. And, you know, I'm a little nervous because it's like, you know, you made something for the city, but, you know, you want to hope that you made them proud. So I'm a little nervous, but I am excited to show them, you know, and I think people would be excited to see the city, how we shot it, and to see places that they recognize and people they recognize that they know are from the city. I think they'll be excited about that. So.
Now, speaking of recognition, this has been like for you so long in the making. Has your phone been blowing up now that all the billboards and the posters and the marquees are coming up?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, naturally, but, you know, whatever. That's all right.
So to do this with your friend, can you describe that experience, you know, going along together, growing up, and then getting to where you want to be is here?
I couldn't have done it with anybody else, really. So, I mean, I wouldn't rather be doing this with anybody else. So that's what it is. That's my guy.
Jimmie said that it was you that called him to be a part of this film. Can you explain on what grabbed you to be a part of it?
They gave me the script, and I said, well, it's not a lot to do. And they said, come on, Mr. G, we need you to be. I said, well, guy like that. I said, hey, man, let's do it. But they're true, you know, love their ingenuity, their imagination, and the fact that they made something that about their stories, you know, about their life, you know, and that's extraordinary.
Man, they was in the basement when I saw this, man. This is crazy. It's surreal. They was in the basement. They had the script on the piano. I was hungry. It's crazy, man. I love you, Joe. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, it's easy. We had so much talent in San Francisco, you know.
Man.
So many people that gave so much of this movie. It's a city by the city for the city.
And can you describe what it's like to share that with your friends, being a part of that?
What's it feel like?
Overwhelming, man. It's overwhelming. It's crazy to see people you see on a daily basis on a big screen theater. You feel me? It's
That's
like,
how I feel when I look at you.
know, and that's how I feel when I look at you, even though you was behind the scenes. Man, it's surreal for real. I just graduated college on Saturday, and I'm a movie.
This dude's doing
Come
everything.
on, man. Now I'm in a movie.
How'd you have time to be in college and be in this movie?
Well, then, no, I'm just playing. Hey, I was just blessed, you feel me? You gave me the opportunity. I made it work. It was a lot of sleepless nights.
An easy choice.
Man, come on, man. One of the greatest upcoming directors, writers out right now. San Francisco, California.
Thank
Go on stage,
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.